Hey, welcome back for another video. I'm Rob Allen, the owner of Sigma 3 Survival School, and today I wanted to teach you a little bit about some of my overlanding setup and what I kind of have built for a camper shell bed. And if you've got any kind of truck with a camper shell, I think this design will work for you. You might have to alter it. And I spent a lot of time looking around on the internet, and I found a lot of really super complicated designs. I think that most people are really kind of overthinking this, and having owned a construction company for years and being a carpenter, you know, this is something I used to do, building projects, and so I came up with an idea that is very simple, super functional, and removable, and I wanted to share it with you guys today. As a survival instructor, I'm in the woods probably 200 days a year. And when you instruct that much, you don't really want to take your tools and your equipment and camping stuff out of your vehicle. You want it with you at all times so that you're ready to just rock and roll and, you know, go on a trip, go shoot a YouTube video, you know, go teach a survival instructor program, something like that. I want to have my equipment with me always. Now, I previously had a deck system, and the deck system was awesome, but I didn't like how heavy it was. You know, it's an extra 200-something pounds on the back of the vehicle, and it had very limited kind of storage capacity as far as what you could actually carry in the drawers. And I saw that as a really big negative, and I ended up selling my deck system and decided to just build a platform like this. And I also didn't want to have, like, the problem with the deck system is that you can't pull it in and out. And so it's difficult to use my truck as a truck, you know? I mean, when you've got a deck system, it's essentially set up for adventure or some specialty, right? Well, it takes up all the space in your bed. It has very kind of limited storage capacity, so you can really only kind of carry camping equipment, you know, off-roading recovery gear, stuff like that in my case. And even though it was a good sleeping platform, it was quite a bit higher than this one. And so the advantage of what I've done here with this type of platform is that I keep all the functionality of a truck. I increase the storage space down below. I still have a sleep platform. And when I want to use this thing as a farm truck, you know, if I want to haul lumber or something like that, it's not that difficult to do. I just go ahead and pull the bed frame out, which folds in the middle, and it takes less than a minute. And so there's huge advantages to this type of system versus a very expensive custom, you know, either like goose gear or ARB boxes or decked systems, stuff like that, where you have all these custom drawers. Those things aren't removable, they're heavy, they're always weighing on your gas mileage, and they have limited, you know, usage in general. So this has the advantage of being removable, lightweight, and far more modular for probably 1/10 of the price of any box system out there. So with 3rd gen Tacomas, you've got a cutout over here, and it's just a little recess place that is about the length of a 2x6, and instead of using a 2x6, I put in that slot a 2x4. And the reasoning for that is it gives me a little bit more space for recovery gear and stuff up front here. It gives me a couple of extra inches. At least for my setup, it works. And when you're sleeping on it, the 2x6 doesn't really provide any extra support. And so 2x4 in the front and 2x6 in the back. But if you've got another vehicle that doesn't have one of those notch cutouts, you literally just put some kind of 2x4 support to the length of the bottom of your bed and just keep it free floating with a couple of screws in the top, and it's going to work just fine. And you can put this kind of system in literally any kind of truck bed and just have it all free floating, cut to fit. So you'll notice that it's basically just a couple of pieces of plywood cut exactly halfway down the middle with 3 hinges, and then on the other side it's carpeted, and it looks completely seamless. It looks like one board when you lay it down in there, and you can't even tell that it's removable. And one of the reasons I wanted it to look that way was so that if a thief was staring into my windows, he wouldn't notice that it's a removable platform, that there might be stuff hiding under there. Because when you got a lot of recovery equipment, you have expensive gear in your truck, you're always looking for ways to, you know, kind of increase your overall security. And I plan on adding tie downs at some point that would prevent like a window breakout and allow people to be able to lift that up in some form or fashion, because the tailgate is locked, but it'd be very difficult to get to any of the stuff. But just 3 basic kind of hinges, straight cut all the way down the middle, and you'll have to conform you know, the side cuts to the style of bed that you've got. It's really just some 45s and a 22.5 degree angle there. As you can see, you know, just some $22 carpet from Lowe's. All I did was lay it on top after the entire you know, platform was constructed, and you know, once I put my hinges in, everything was good to go. I go ahead and I put all my glue down, I lay my carpet down, squeegee it out, and then let that dry. And then once it's dry, I took a razor blade and cut in between the seam over here, and that makes it look completely seamless. You can't tell at all that it's been cut. All right, so the whole point of having a sleeping platform in the first place is so that you can go camping in the back of your truck. You know, anybody with a camper shell can do a setup like this. I see a lot of really complicated, permanently built-in systems out there that are heavy, difficult for the average person to construct, but I mean, literally anybody could build one of these and have a platform that's capable of, you know, fitting 2 heavy people. Like, I mean, this could easily hold probably, you know, a couple of 200-300 pound people, so 500-600 pounds easy. And so underneath it, I keep recovery equipment. You know, I've got tree straps for winches, air down equipment, stuff like that. You know, all the kind of stuff that you'd want to keep in an off-road truck, tools. I've got my Slumberjack road tarp, which is basically a tarp that comes off the back of this that turns the whole back of the truck into a shelter area. And I'll do a video on that next. And just in general, just some basic kind of camping equipment, and it's all hidden. There's plenty of room to get a ton of stuff in there, way more stuff than you could ever hope to put in a deck system or goose gear or any kind of custom drawer system that's going to cost you thousands and thousands of dollars. Now, when you have a platform like this, and you don't want to pull out your platform in order to get stuff that's way in the back, it comes in handy to have one of these kind of, they call it a Reach Easy tool. They're really not that expensive. You just keep it in the back of the truck at all times, and when you want to grab something, you know, like obviously I'd have to pull some of this stuff or get it out of the way, but you know, I can hook stuff like my Max Tracks and it makes it easy to get stuff when it's under the platform. And just like that, it pops right back in. Takes about a minute. So this is the great thing about a platform. You know, it's ready to go at any time. You know, you need to catch a power nap on a long road trip. If you're off-roading and don't want to take a rooftop tent, which has a tendency to be heavy, especially in off-camber areas, it can be dangerous having that kind of top-heavy load. It sleeps 2 people comfortably, will hold a large amount of weight. And the thing I particularly really love about camper shells and platform beds is that, let's say I'm taking a cross-country road trip, don't want to get hotels, don't want to necessarily be in campgrounds, or it's not convenient to do so. I can pull in right in a Walmart parking lot and pass out in the back of this thing, and nobody's going to know the difference. Limousine tinted windows. It's safe, comfortable, easy to get in and out of. I keep my Xped mat with me at all times, and it's just ready to rock and roll. So if you have any questions about how I built this, it's pretty simplistic. You know, you just fit it to your bed, 2x4, 2x6 underneath it, cut it down the middle, put some carpet on top and some trim on the end. But if you don't understand how to build it, leave some comments below, and I'll try to answer them the best I can. And we appreciate your views, appreciate you guys subscribing, and Sigma 3 out. Thanks.